Hello, in our presentation, we will observe the heat vulnerability between California and Georgia. This is presented by Alicia, Priscilla, Takia, and Tiffany. Climate change, which is defined as a shift in weather pattern or as any considerable modification in the temperature, precipitation, wind, and other measurable weather patterns that occur during an extended period, is raising a great concern not only for the field of environmental health but public health as well. Heat vulnerability is a climate change indicator that will be used for this project. Additionally, two states will be used for this assignment: California and Georgia. Georgia experienced its hottest day on June 19th, 2018. The record high was 94 degrees Fahrenheit. California experienced its hottest month in July of 2018. The record high was 108.1 degrees Fahrenheit. According to the Environmental Public Health Tracking Network, at the 95th percentile, the number of extreme heat days recorded across the United States was high in the northern, southern, and western states during the year 1996. The trend changed along the years, with the states in the Northeast having the highest record of extreme heat days. This is probably because global warming does not occur spontaneously. The year 1996 shows no extreme heat days in Georgia at a 95th percentile, whereas California shows more than 4 to 17 extreme heat days. 20 years later, the same number of extreme heat days, greater than 8 to 14, are recorded in Georgia and California. Across the world, many people are affected by heat related issues due to climate change. During extreme heat waves, we see an influx of increased medical emergency services and admissions to the hospitals. Many aspects contribute to the level of risk associated with heat related illnesses and even death. According to the CDC, some illnesses may include anywhere from heat rashes all the way to cardiovascular diseases or cardiovascular problems. The most illness that we hear about during extreme heat days are heat strokes. Exposure to heat can cause illness and death. Other heat illness such as heat exhaustion, heat cramps, and heat rash also occurs through extreme heat days. There are different circumstances for a person to fall ill or to be affected by extreme heat days. They include the presence of pre-existing health conditions, elderly people over 65, and young children, demographic and socioeconomic factors, which may cause a person to not have access to medical facilities or lack of insurance, and land coverage. Communities with low vegetation, which includes limited forestry, such as trees for shade. Although we do experience extreme heat days, there are ways where we can decrease the amount of extreme heat days in a year. Adaptation allows us to identify that the earth warming is not avoidable, and mitigation helps reduce the greenhouse emission effects. There are a number of things that both California and Georgia can do to help mitigate the issues of extreme heat days. And again, as mentioned in the previous slides, mitigation helps to reduce the greenhouse emission effect. California can develop an urban heat island index, educate the public about preventative measures and tools for the use of cooling during extreme heat days, improve heat health alert warnings by working closely with the National Weather Services to send out advance alerts of extreme heat events, expand the California Local Energy Assurance Planning Program to provide to local jurisdictions, Georgia can encourage homeowners to make homes more energy efficient, educate the community on many ways to save energy, supporting wind power, encouraging carpooling or public transportation, encouraging citizens to eat less meat, and a number of other different things. Recently being researched by the University of California, California will soon face extreme heat events over days to come. This is due to heavy rain that has fallen over the Indian Ocean and Southeast Asia. This then places a major threat on the nation's source of half of its agricultural supply and a big economic burden. June of 2018 marks the day of Miguel Chavez's death due to heat exhaustion. The article, Frameworks Dying from Extreme Heat, explains how farm workers are forced to work in 95-degree weather and exposed to heat related illnesses that are generally untreated. The crisis should be considered carefully, and implementation should be placed to assist the 130 million workers who make a living working outside. Between the years of 1992 and 2016, nearly 800 workers died from extreme heat. On behalf of Priscilla, Lissa, Tiffany, and myself, Takia, we would like to thank you for taking the time out to listen to our presentation on heat vulnerability between Georgia and California.